Good evening from New York. And today, connecting forms of empathy to both our minds and politics. The way to progress. Well, some people say there's no way, no overlap between politics and how we think, how we communicate, and the practices that we use to speak to ourselves with empathy. I say there is. And it's not only the best way to heal a person, but the best way to heal a nation. And to create a progress, a pathway for progress, for love to be workable. Certainly, all of the voices of the forms of empathy need to be expressed and not dominated by any one of them. Compassion is, or compassionate empathy helps us with goodness. Our creative empathy helps us with artfulness, and our inner counselor, our objective empathy helps us with truth. So goodness, truth, and artfulness. I'd say these are three basic forms of empathy that need to be used in how we talk to ourselves, how we talk to each other, and how governments function. Now, within ourselves, there's an inner artist, creative empathy. There's an inner counselor, objective empathy, and there's an inner caregiver, our compassionate empathy. These forms of communication or ways to love, to meet human need, which is what I mean by love, and to meet it well, these communicate with our inner child or language kid inside us. And most of these communications, a lot of these communications use language. I didn't quite phrase that right. All of them use language, but the creative artist in us, the inner artist, creates guided meditations, which can be very visual. Editing as I go. So now that you know that I'm not a great speaker, please listen because I have a great message. Great speakers may come later, and it might be you. But this is what's going to move us forward. In government, I just mentioned there are these roles that we play in caring about ourselves, our inner kid, which is our dramatic experience of life, which is our more emotional self. That is very similar to who we are when we're trading partners, when we're involved with business. And everybody's a trading partner, no matter big or small. We're trading partners. And that's business and society. Business, you can't just run amok. It needs guardrails and guidance, and that comes from these different forms of empathy that I'm talking about. And how is social organizations develop that help us with compassionate empathy, and I say it's usually called in my country it's called church, legally. So these are extended family organizations, and that's our inner caregiver. It's the same picture in society. In government is our objective empathy, our inner counselor. It's that kind of social organization. And the social organization we generally call the media, is what presents different pictures of reality um, and fantasy as well, in very artful, that is, useful ways to society. All of these need to be in balance and working to educate how we trade so that it's good for as many as possible, that it's truthful, not deceitful, and so that these are guardrails. And in the media, that helps business in terms of seeing things from a lot of different perspectives, and and influences how we trade in terms of seeing new ways to see the trade, new ways of or pathways of trade, and that's very useful. It also provides the source. It's actually the source of much of how we see society and ourselves. It's from this creative point that through that we see ourselves, we see business, we see government and church, caregiver and us, and the counselor. And as a rational mystic, I'm telling you, this is, and you look at brain research, I'm telling you, that's your brain. In rational terms, your inner artistry is your brain. You will never completely realize the whole of what you are from one aspect of who you are, but you can get closer and closer. It's the same relationship we have with the universe. And why am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this to point out the fact that self-transcendence is important. Not, this ability, this flexible ability to see ourselves and others. Not this rigid attachment to what society told you are or would become and so on. No, don't buy that. Create. Light that creative light in yourself. Begin the mystic journey. Understand that there are all these voices in your head and you need to use them. And there's, in terms of that fluidity of self, that transcendence of the whole idea of an ego, the dropping away of ego, is found in what I call the infant mind. The infant mind is where we have the rudiments of these forms of empathy as focus, play, and expression in relationship to feelings, which is a relationship to needs, which is a relationship to this definition of love that I'm presenting, the meeting of human need. So all this ties together. Now, if you have questions, please ask. They can be answered. It's once you get it, especially if you practice according to the things that I present, you'll see this. We also have in the channel an expert in political organization. So we will be hearing from him on occasion. And we hope to bring your voices in as a way to stimulate around the world a real voice for love. And in these foolish wars and this hatefulness that we see so much in humanity, this greed, all of this greed, and this over the top kind of power mongering, and this comes from an understanding of the healing aspects of these forms of empathy and awareness. And you can ask questions about that. But for now, please subscribe. Help us to reach many more subscribers and contributors so that we can create a real hug felt around the world. Until next time.